right. I want to thank Danette Wallace and Lisa Berman for inviting me and supporting me and allowing me to share this vision of the Ojai Food Co-op that we have. My name's Michelle Dohrn, and I grew up here in the Valley. When I turned 18 and graduated, I wanted to go out and see the big world. I went to college, got my degree in zoology and botany, and became a wildlife biologist. I surveyed for endangered species throughout Southern California. I was living in LA, the concrete jungle, and seeing global warming, climate change, the effects of overpopulation that were happening in the habitat, and seeing animals going extinct before my eyes, doing surveys in the valley. I got married, I had a daughter, and I still lived in LA for about 4 years until I kind of came to this decision that I needed to get out, and I lost my sense of self and my connection with humans and humanity and the land. And so I brought my daughter back where the only place that I knew growing up, I had that connection. And I wanted to be able to have her have that connection as well. So we came back to Ojai, and I was embraced by the community, by my friends that I'd known for over 30 years, and my the community just opened up. My yoga instructors embraced me. I had women that were elders in this community that came to me and embraced me and wanted to help me and give me advice and support. And also the Chumash tribe family here came and embraced me as well. I have Native American roots and Spanish and Mexican too, and so it was really very humbling to be embraced by the community on so many levels. I started taking an interest in food fairly quickly and got into a CSA, which is a community-supported agriculture. You become a shareholder in the farm, and he is able to not have to worry about where his money's coming. He can use his expenses for operating the farm. And every week we would get a bountiful of local organic produce, an excess, an abundance. I had to, out of necessity, out of survival and sheer guilt that I had so much food available and I didn't want it to go to waste, that I decided to learn how to can and preserve and ferment and compost and get chickens and garden and do all these things. And I started having parties and dinners and potlucks and workshops and people coming into my home, and everyone's like talking about food, over food, and having deep philosophical discussions and really deep concerns about the access of food and how food travels and where it comes from. And my biggest thing was, why should I have the access to this kind of food? You know, it's plentiful, it's affordable, and if you learn a simple couple of techniques how to preserve your food and can it, anybody can do it. So I didn't want to hold on to that information. I wanted to be able to spread the word about it and how easy it can be. So one night, we were having a gentleman over who showed how to make empanadas with local produce. And he goes, Michelle, have you heard about food co-ops? And I go, food co-ops? What's a food co-op? I'd never even heard of a food co-op. And being the true scientist that I was, I went and researched the heck out of co-ops and was just amazed to see what was going on. So that's the valley, and that's the farm and the CSA. That's my ferments, when I go a little crazy sometimes. And so I went and I researched, and I went to co-ops already existing in Southern California, and I attended national co-op conferences and talked to national co-op leaders. And then I took it out to the streets, to Ojai people, and I asked them, I did this informal survey. Well, do you know what a co-op is? Have you ever been to one? What do you think if we had one here in the Valley? And I did a wide variety of people that I asked, from teachers to families to spiritual healers to pastors, people high in the community leadership. I went to environmental, our nonprofit eco resources, and talked to them and gathered their support. And all around, I just got this overwhelming, yes, we need to have one here, or why don't we have one here already? So I said, all right, so we got a group together, and we have a steering committee, and we put together, well, I shared what I was learning about, and what got me so interested in the co-ops to begin with was that it had these great principles behind it. And it had a co-op values, and co-op values is about self-help, self-responsibility, equality, equity, and solidarity. And my favorite out of all of these is ultimately the concern for community. But when I saw these for the first time, voluntary and open membership, anyone can join. Democratic member controlled, so that means one vote, everybody has one vote and one share, that's it. Member economic participation, so the more that you participate in the co-op, the more you can get back through dividends and so forth at the end of the year. That co-ops have their own autonomy and independency in the business world. They make their own decisions. The members of a co-op decide, they set the policies of the co-op, and they are the major decision makers of the co-op. You can decide however way you want to run the co-op, if you want to run it with the board of directors, which most of them do, but some of them, like the People's Co-op, it started in the 60s and now have a collective management, which means anybody who's in the staff gets to manage the co-op. They know what's going on, they know what the people want, they're having those close interactions, so they're the ones who manage the co-op, there's so many possibilities of how to go there. And then there's cooperation among cooperatives. So we have co-ops throughout the nation, and everyone is supporting one another, and it's this great feeling, but also what co-ops try to do in their own communities is to cooperate with other small businesses. Like, it's not us against you, it's like, it's all of us together, and let's help one another. So, let's see, another one. Okay, and it's, to me, like, I just got so disenchanted with democracy and how it was going and everything that was going on in the politics and what we see in the media. And when I read these, I was like, wow, I mean, isn't that what the spirit of democracy should be about? And that the co-ops are doing that. They're a perfect role model for human cooperation. And I really value those things. So when we got together and we started talking with friends and family and started having our steering committee, we kind of came up with this vision of what we see the Ojai Food Co-op to be. And it's be a place where it's a community hub, where people can come together, feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves, and to see things that are actively being in progress, like how they can do their own sustainable futures, whether we have permaculture demonstration gardens, and we have gray water and solar panel being used. There's things that go beyond. If you want to incorporate the co-op model, you can do health insurance co-ops, you can do car rental co-ops, you can do credit union co-ops. I mean, the possibilities are infinite, and it really depends on what our community wants to build. So our vision is also to have a certified kitchen where if you have a cooking license, you can come in, you're a co-op member, you want to make some jam or granola, and you sell it to the co-op. And it kind of helps to subsidize your income. And so this is kind of revitalizing our economy as we see it, making it more local. We'll lower our distribution costs and ultimately lower our carbon footprint if we're sourcing as local as possible. That is our vision, is to go at least 50% local. And that means everything from lotions and soaps and not just food. So right now, we're at the stage, we have our steering committee. We are a project of the Ojai Green Coalition. We have their full support, and we're so grateful for that. They've really been behind us. We share very similar missions. And so they have taken us on, and we're not a nonprofit, because co-ops are for-profit, but they're not for-profit maximizing. They're for-profit sustaining, which means they want to pay their employees fairly, give them fair wages, and treat them well, and be able to stock food on their shelves for that. So we're going into a feasibility test, and we're hoping to ask for donations right now, and you can donate and do a tax deduction for the first 6 months so that we can do a feasibility test. We'll pick about 3 or 4 locations in Ojai and see what is the most viable and what is going to serve the needs of our community. And then we'll be able to run a business plan and then start doing our membership drive where we ask our community to invest in the community-owned co-op. Thank you, everybody.